Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here, and I've got a massive report with everything going haywire and literally south in America. I wanted to bring on Charles, the CEO, the head guy for Noble Gold Investments, because look, if I'm going to be frank, things are crazy. We've got earthquakes over in Soda Springs, Idaho. We have crazy clouds that I talked about in Georgia. We have Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Harvey. Harvey already went through with its very destructive path, and we don't know quite yet what Irma's going to look like, but I know they're already talking Category 4, even possible Category 5. We have fires over in California and multiple places in the United States of America, and this is the kind of thing that we're faced with, that so many things rising at once could really cripple a country, just that amount of stuff. So Charles, I know you're with me over there, but is that a true statement to say that with all these different things, could that cripple America for that many catastrophes or events to happen at once?
It could. It could. You know, one of the things that, and rightfully so, when we see these events, we focus on the human aspect of it because that's the most important thing, help people. But once that's done, you then have the economic factor. And there's two prongs to that economic factor. The damage that's done has to be repaired. Obviously, that involves insurance, it involves aid. And you know, for our customers, you know, we have a link set up to help donate for that as well. And you should do that. But there's aid that comes from the government, the states as well, to help to rebuild. But that takes another toll. The other part of that economic toll is that business is lost. People's means to earn a living are gone. Companies' means to earn earnings are gone. And this all takes an effect on the GDP. And if any of those companies are publicly traded, it takes effect on their stock price. So there's factors most people don't really look at and go beyond the human factor. And I get that, because that's ultimately first. But when that's solved, you have the other effects that still continue on that most people don't give consideration to, but we need to.
So you know, knowing what you do for a living, what impacts could this kind of economy, and let's not forget too, North Korea. I mean, we have some massive tensions with North Korea. They have EMP, they launched a hydrogen bomb, they have the capability, which we've known about for years. I've talked about it on my channel for years, but now it's more public that he has this, and tensions are rising. I know that they're dead serious. I mean, Donald Trump put out a tweet the other day saying that any country that does dealings with North Korea, it's very likely that we're going to stop doing dealings with them altogether. I mean, that's going to, I mean, especially if China's doing dealings with North Korea. We do a lot of work with China. I mean, everything's made there. That's going to have some serious repercussions on our economy. But as a gold, precious metal, and you know all of that, and you know the deep state, and you know all that side of it as well, where do you see gold, precious metals, silvers, all of that going in this kind of state that we're in?
Interesting. And it's a very big topic, you know, the hydrogen bomb, that's a big deal. And there's something to be said about that. China didn't get there, North Korea didn't get there by themselves. For a country to suddenly develop a program and move this quickly, they had to have had help. That's just a fact. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do, to create a nuclear bomb. So there was some help there. So that leads into the statement, you know, if you're helping them, even economically, the United States is going to have an issue with you. This is the kind of things that it turns into a currency war. And if you've read, you know, Jim Rickards' recent book, Currency War, he mentions in there, this is the kind of event that propels gold to the $10,000 mark. Now, I don't know if we get to 10,000. I'm a lot more conservative than he is, okay? But if we're at $3,500, $4,000 an ounce, it's paid off all of its investors, and it's given them the protection that they're looking for. So this is why you see people talk about gold as a safe haven during these events. And currency wars are no benefit to us.
No, and here's the thing. I'm going to throw up on the screen an article for everyone to see, but it was put out by TheStreet.com, and it kind of goes along with what you were saying. It says gold prices could surge to 10,000 because a war is coming, says top expert. Now, this was put out September 3rd. Here we are, on the 5th. just a few days ago, but these are experts saying that because of everything that's going on with North Korea, and I'm reading off my thing here, but Jim Rickards is the one that's saying, hey, look, there's a big picture, there's more to it. We have this gold jump spike, that could happen. And here's why I wanted to bring you on after reading that, because I thought, gosh, you know a lot about this topic. Obviously, it's what you do for a living. And here's the thing, when we're in this unstable area, my heart is I want to make sure that all of my viewers out there, everybody that's out there listening to the channel here, are in a good, stable spot. And I think where we're at with all the chaos that's surroundings, that's what you do offers. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. It's that safe haven approach to your finances. And we're responsible for our own finances. We have to take that serious. There's issues with the dollar, and we've talked about some of these issues. But I think you have a scenario now, and I hate to use the word perfect storm with what's going on with Harvey and Irma, but it is an economic perfect storm. We've got earthquakes up where they mine gold. We've got hurricanes where you see a lot of refining in the oils and a lot of business. There's a lot of things happening that could weaken the dollar, collapse the stock market, and really propel gold where we've talked about it going. And now more than ever, it makes sense if you don't have any precious metals to get protected. It's really a simple process, and when we help you with all the paperwork, if you have an old 401k, you have an IRA, get protected there. If you have cash in the bank, get protected there. We can deliver that to you. Take it serious, because this is a serious event. And again, it's better to be prepared and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. And that's why I bring you guys on. I mean, big proponent, obviously, of what you guys do here with My Gold and silver here as well. Now, with that said, I know, with all the bizarre events and the economic instabilities that we're at, where do you see us just, towards the end of this year? What is that going to look like? What do you think?
I think you're going to see gold probably 1,400, 1420, right around there. And it's funny because in the beginning of the year, there was an article that I wrote that I said that it's where we should be towards the end of this year. It's not guesswork. There's a lot of research involved. You take a look right now, and everyone's talking about the stock market, as we should. Most people are invested in it. But what most people don't realize is the stock market is a minor component as compared to the bond market. The bond market's about 2.5 times the size of the stock market. You have, for the first time in 6 years, where the strength of gold is stronger than your bond market. And that does a couple things. That puts us in a position where we know with the events that are going on, people are moving towards gold. It offers them a better return and a safer haven than the bond market does. And this is very telling, because that bond market, heavily invested by people who have retirement accounts, annuities, brings to mind AIG. People remember AIG need to be bailed out by us. That started a whole round of bailouts for the banks and things. And that was because the bond market could not keep up with the promise they made for their annuities. And we're going into a cycle again where we can see that. If you cannot get the return you need on those bonds, you can't meet your obligations to the annuities. And this is why people more and more are moving out of those annuities and getting that safe haven that is precious metals.
And it's a good thing too. And here's the thing, what would you say to someone? I mean, is it one of those moments where we need to prepare now, or we could suffer later, if you will? Is that something that you could see on our front pretty quick here?
Absolutely. Just from a common sense point of view, the stock market is way too high. It's moved up to a point where it's unsustainable. And whenever you're investing, you want to look at a couple factors: your potential return versus your risk. And when you have something that's at an all-time high, the chances of it going to new all-time highs is a lot smaller than it pulling back. That's just the common sense, the old buy low, sell high. So we have that working. Gold, greatly valued here, just under $1,340 an ounce. Its all-time high is $1,900. There's a lot of room there, okay? So it makes sense from that aspect to say, okay, just in a general basis, take some of what you have in the stock market. You've gotten an all-time high. move a portion of it into metals, get that protection. But I think what's going to happen is it's one of those scenarios that once you see the stock market begin its decline, it's going to be fast. And that's when people are going to say, oh, I knew I should have done it. Don't be in that category. It's better to be a little early than a little late.
I agree 100%. And if you guys want to check out the website that he has, it's noblegoldinvestments.com. But there's links below. Click on those links so you let them know you heard it here on Lisa Haven. There's also a phone number if you guys want to call. That's also in the description box below. But look, I just encourage you guys. It's not just about selling and buying and trading gold, silver, and precious metals. It's so much more than that, because I see the instabilities of the market. I see where we're headed as a country. I see all the different things and read a bunch of stuff. Here's something else I wanted to bring up kind of in closing is the Rothschild. He just cashed, and I read his half-yearly report. That's another reason I wanted to get you on, but I read his half-yearly report, and he is dumping a bunch of money out of a bunch of his money. He doesn't want it in America anymore. He's getting rid of it. And so when these big globalists start doing that, and they themselves are buying precious metals, gold and silver, we need to kind of say, hey, they know something that we don't, and follow suit with that. What do you think about that right there?
You know, and it just makes sense. When I say these things, it's not like I want to see the stock market collapse. I want to see people lose money, but I want to be a realist about it. And here's the reality. When you look at the weakness of the dollar and you look at our environment now where we can't get anything done, there is no tax cut coming yet. You know, the repeal didn't happen. We're in a quagmire. Politically, economically, it's not a good place to be here right now. We can't seem to get out of our own way. And it does me no pride to say that, but I have to be real about it and say, okay, if this is the scenario, and we see this because you have these billionaires and multi-billionaires relocating their assets, it just, you know, is a validation of the fact that we are in trouble. When this next market collapse happens, we don't have the means for another quantitative easing to fix it. We still have all that money out there that we have not been able to get back out of the system yet. So we lost the only tool that fixes it quickly. So this is why you see that money moving.
Agreed, 100%. So with that, I just want to encourage you guys, go to noblegoldinvestments.com, but use the link below so you know you heard it here on Lisa Haven, or you can call in, just let them know you heard it here. And, you know, just make sure you're secured in this unstable market. Anyhow, Charles, thanks again for coming on the broadcast. Do you have any last comments that you want to say?
Yeah, you know, if you have any questions, give us a call. I have a team here. They're very nice. They're very polite. They'll help answer your questions. If this is right for you, they'll help you. If it's not, they'll let you know. So if you have a question, don't just forget about it and think maybe it's not for me. Call and find out. See if it is or not. That's the best thing to do.
Well, thanks again for tuning into my channel here. And this is Lisa Haven and Charles with Noble Gold Investments signing out.